Hi, welcome to AM Healing My Soul TV. Today we have Angela Barrows here with us. So Angela is an empowerment coach and radio show host in New Zealand. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
Your story is just so incredibly inspiring and offers so much hope for people going through grief. And I just love you to share what your path has been through grief and how you found hope and peace through your grief journey.
Sure. So part of my grief, it's kind of one of the it was one of the hardest journeys, I suppose, through my life. A number of years ago, my dad was really ill and we took him home to pass away. And Vicky, I'm not sure if you mentioned that I have a spiritual background as well. So I'm also a clairvoyant medium and always had the ability to see energies of people who have passed over. And so as my father passed over, I was extremely lucky enough to see his family come down and to collect him and for him to leave with him. And as I saw his family come down, just the most amazing experience on a spiritual level, also on a human level, to actually be able to see them, to see the energies. And at that point in time, I said to my dad, go, you're free to go. We love you, and go home, go with them. And at that point, he left. He said that he left. And about an hour later, his body stopped breathing. His human body stopped breathing. And a couple of weeks later, I was in Australia, just up close to you, actually, up in sort of Brisbane, Gold Coast area. And I went to a medium who is a very good friend of mine, and someone that I trust. And she brought through my father, and he said, when you said I could go, I went.
Wow.
And he said he passed over at that time. So it was great to have that confirmation. But I remember at the time, I said to my brothers and sisters, he's gone. And they're like, how do you know? Because my brothers and sisters don't see energies or hear or feel or anything like that. It was only me. And when I told them, they were like, how do you know? And so I explained to them. And that really helped my grieving process. So after he passed away, I had to sort out the funeral and help with that. And it really helped to have his guidance along the way, because before he passed, I said to him, Dad, come back and tell me what it's like. Come back and be my guide. Wow. So we had that agreement before he left, before he passed over. And still now he comes through. And if I'm struggling with anything, I can still call on him.
That's so amazing.
It is. It was one of the most difficult, but one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had. And it's such a gift to be able to have that. But also to be able to provide, I suppose, guidance and to provide guidance and some relief for others that come to see me about, the ones that have passed over or would like some messages or contact from them.
And I mean, just for your siblings too, like if they don't have, like, when did you first discover that you had this gift, Angela?
I suppose, so when I was growing up, I always could relate to energies better than humans as such. So we always lived in big houses, and I always saw people in our house, even though they weren't actually there. So I had maybe a number of invisible friends, as they say. And I always knew too much about people. I always knew things that others wouldn't know. And I'd tell my parents, and they would be like, how do you know that? I'm like, well, the man over there told me, or the lady over there told me. But I was very lucky that my parents never dumbed it down or never said, you're being silly. So I was very lucky to have that. And it was actually when I was about 8. I can't remember. I think I was 18. I was working for a company, and I was told to go see a clairvoyant. I was like, okay, cool. And so I went, and as soon as she opened the door, she looked straight at my shoulder. She didn't look at me, but she looked beyond me. And that scared me. I quickly moved. I was like, okay, what happened there? And she just explained. And then it was like she turned the tap on. She flicked the light switch and she made it okay. So it was like that moment, the door opened and I knew what I was. I could put a name to it. Previously, I could just see and feel people and I tried to block it off. And it's been in the last 8 years now that I've been, last 10 years that I've been out in public in terms of more public, speaking at spiritual centres and giving out readings and doing group messages. I had a lady a couple of months ago come, and just her husband, her soulmate, passed away, and she didn't know why the hospitals couldn't find anything wrong with him.
Yeah.
And so she come to me. She was referred to me by someone else, and straight away when he came straight through, and all he wanted to do was just hold her. Yeah. He just wanted to wrap his arms around her and just hold her, and he came through and he told us what happened, how he passed away.
And that
so it was to her, it was massive relief.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't giving a lot of information, like he wasn't talking a lot. He just wanted to sit there, look at her and hold him. And and she understood what he was saying. Yeah. So it was, it's one of the most amazing feelings to be able to provide that for people.
Oh, it is, because when you lose someone, you feel so alone, and you think that's the connection's gone forever, but what, and for people to have that awareness that they're not alone, and that they're actually with you all the time.
We're never alone.
No.
And see that feeling, alone, it's a feeling that you have because your head's gone, there's no one around me. Where is everyone? But see, it's only a feeling of being alone. You're never alone. See, I believe that everyone in this universe can see, hear and feel.
Yeah.
It's only a belief that holds people back from it. I mean, as Vicky, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago, I run courses to help people, see, hear and feel, extra, guides and family members and stuff. Yeah. But it's only the human belief. It's only the mind that we have. And, there's probably a lot of listeners out there that have seen their grandmother or their mother or someone at the end of their bed.
Yeah.
But their physical mind's gone, oh, that's too scary. I have to close that off. Yeah. So they close it off so they won't see that again. Yeah. And then by the time they come to me, it's like, I want to open up again. I want to open up so that I can see. And people start going to development groups so that they can. Yeah. But it's working on the human physical mind to release that belief, to release to release the scaredness, I suppose, of being worried, of seeing something that maybe isn't real. It's that non-physical reality that comes into it. Yeah. And releasing that resistance that comes in.
Yeah, well, I know I've had some dreams, and the dreams seemed so real. Like, I can remember in the very early days where my son, I was just crying and crying and crying for like 3 weeks leading up to this dream. And he appeared in this dream, and it seemed so real, and I felt him. And the next day, like when I woke up, I felt like I could feel his arms around me all day. It was like, but then my head was saying, well, how could that be? Like, did I just dream all of that, or what? So in reality, that was a connection.
Absolutely it is. See, the reason that a lot of guides and spirits and stuff come in during your sleep state is because you're not in your conscious mind. Yeah. When you're in your conscious mind, your conscious mind will perceive it and go, no, that's not right. It doesn't feel right. I don't feel safe. I can't put a label on that. And so they always start coming through during the sleep process, or when you're out of your conscious mind.
Yeah. And I suppose meditation would help too, would it?
Meditation can help as well, because you're lowering your conscious mind for the ability for them to kind of channel in. So how it works is, I know that on a human level, I'm here and they're way up here. Yeah. So I need to raise my soul vibration, bring my mind down, raise my soul vibration up. And they need to come down to this level so that we can connect in. Yeah. Because if I'm not connected, if they're not connected, you can't connect in.
So if you're suffering from grief and you're in that really low vibration, then it's really hard for them to be able to contact you.
Yeah. Because the physical mind's going, they have their own emotional states going on, and there's resistance. It's like, I really want to hear from them. I really want to hear from them. I really want to hear from this person or this person. But there's so much resistance because you're still in their conscious mind, and the conscious mind will just resist it. Yeah. So it's, bring their conscious mind down. and just allowing the flow, because a lot of the time the emotions and the mind get in the way. Well, sorry, the emotions that people think that they have actually get in the way. So like grief, that's the grief. I mean, with grief, we also talked about this not so long ago, Vicky, didn't we? We had a great lengthy conversation about, about feelings and grief, the emotions and feelings to it. So whenever there's an emotion, and you can put a label to that emotion, there's always a feeling underneath. So when you look at grief, actually, what is grief? Grief is made up of sadness, of, the emotion, the feeling of sadness, of loss, that I've lost something, and it could be filled up with love, you're the feeling of losing love, or the feeling of not being full. Even having the knowledge and the ability to connect in. When I found out my dad was really sick, I was really pissed off at the world. I was angry. I was so pissed off, at God, at my God. I was like, how dare you take him from me? He's my father. I need him here. Don't take him. I was so angry. And, and when he passed, or when he was getting close to pass, I'd be driving, I'd be like, what the hell? Why are you taking him from me? He's too young. I need him here, And so, I got pissed off. And I know that I had to go through the emotion. We talk about the 7 stages of grief, and going through the emotions of it, and just, allowing that emotional feeling just to pass.
And you've got to go through it, don't you? Otherwise you'll be stuck forever.
And that's what happens a lot, that emotion's good. Showing the emotion, releasing the emotion, it's good. But it's good as long as you don't get into that victim's mentality of, always being in that down state, of always being in that emotional state. But, humanity, we were told for a very long time not to express emotion. Typical Kiwi and Aussie attitude of, build a bridge, you'll be right. Stop being silly, you'll be right, it'll be right, sort of thing. And, probably in the last sort of 20, 30 years, there has been a big revolution of open the heart. I want to open my heart. I want to access my heart. And then people open their heart and they just don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to manage the feelings, which turn into emotions, and they hold and they block all that. So the emotional maturity of humanity has really declined. And it's only, I don't know, maybe in the last, from what I've seen, maybe 5 years, that it's starting to increase the emotional maturity of people. And that's, being, by having tools and techniques and things to manage your feelings. And it's okay to have those feelings, which are emotions.
So what would be your takeaway for people today, Angela, in what you're offering? And
the takeaway would be reach out to someone. You don't have to go through this alone. There are people like yourself, Vicky, and many others that will help and support and guide you through.
Well, thanks very much, Angela, for today. And it gives people so much hope when they can hear that sort of thing, and just to be able to tune in with their loved ones, because it makes such a difference. I really appreciate it, and I'll just say goodbye for now, but stay online.
I will.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Lovely talking to you, Vicky.
Thanks, Angela.